I'm not in my Calvins, but I am in my Billabongs.
And she looks like a Spice Girl.
When we were in Australia, Elle got these pants, and
they're low-waisted.
Pardon my husky voice. I have been coughing my guts out for a week, and yes, indeed, it was from coming home from Australia. There was 2 people that sounded like they were on their final days.
God.
And now
on our
I
flight.
sound like I am too. Because 17 hours on a flight with that air circulation is just a recipe for disaster.
I wore a mask as much as I possibly could.
Yeah, but not the whole time.
Like the last hour.
No. Anyway,
if you hear
I'm
heavy
wearing my
breathing,
Billabongs.
Elle's wearing her Billabongs, and if you hear heavy breathing, it's from the girl with the respiratory condition.
and what we're here to talk about today.
The 90s are so back.
Yeah.
So back.
And that includes my Spice Girl pants.
Yes, it all
Maddie
ties
and Ava
in.
were saying I look like Sporty Spice.
But we've been obsessed with the 90s for like a decade.
This is not new for us. We're just excited that everyone else has joined us.
Finally,
on this journey.
everyone's caught up with us.
I feel like the 80s have been having their moment for a long time.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the 90s.
It's time.
It's
We're
time.
ready.
Time to
And
bring them back.
Specifically, we want to talk about why Love Story has our generation in a chokehold.
It's got me in a chokehold. That's
Got
for sure.
all of us in a
We've only
chokehold.
watched the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. To be honest, Australia had me in a chokehold, but that's
That's a
That's a
we'll
different
talk about that one
episode.
later. Australia also has us in a chokehold. The 90s in Australia have us in a chokehold.
But it's like
Yes.
similar parallels that we're going to get into, actually, because I think Australia brought
Yes.
a vibe that
Australia
But it was
brought a nostalgic
can I
vibe,
say-
at least
Yes.
where we went, that I feel like reminded me of the 90s.
exactly. Yeah.
Can I say though that
Where we went.
I was seeing there's all sorts of things. Everyone is seeing stuff about Love Story online, which is why we started watching it. And also it's 90s and everyone's like the 90s vibes are back. And we have loved the 90s vibes. The show we're writing has been taking place in the 90s. We've written it that it takes place in the 90s for
Literally,
what?
10
Literally
years.
10
10
years? Yeah.
Literally.
So anyway, we're happy 90s is back.
Y'all
Let's just
finally
say
caught
that.
up.
So, but what's really inspiring us is the fashion
Yes.
in Love Story.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're really doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job at replicating
I
like
think
what
they're
it
doing
looked
a
like
great
in
job.
real life.
I feel like with casting, I feel like they were definitely obviously thinking about people that looked like them in the face, but I also think they were looking for people that could like pull off those outfits.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually
Yeah.
what they were thinking, but
Yeah.
it looks to me like that's what they did.
That
and
is
I think it
really-
was such
yeah.
a good
Yes.
call.
And so I also was reading because there's so many posts about it right now. I was joking because my dad was like, I forget he's not online that much because he's like, he's in his 50s and he's our dad. And he was just like, why are we watching this show? And I was like, it's been everywhere. And he's like, oh, like, what do you mean? All over social media. We all work in social media. So I'm like, I have
everywhere.
seen this thing everywhere. So anyway, I've been seeing so many posts about it. And I saw something today that people were saying that Carolyn Bassett, her style, how do you say her name? Carolyn
Bassett? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. So if I say it wrong, I'm really sorry if that's triggering. But I'm sorry. Anyway, her style, so iconic, but people were saying they're boiling it down to her, like what she wore, when really everyone was like, it was her vibe because she didn't.
No swag gap.
No swag gap, but also she wanted privacy. She cared about her, and this is all, we don't know her personally, but this is all just what I'm hearing, and I thought it was very interesting in terms of fashion. Everyone was saying they're like, you can't like just make this into a Pinterest board. Like anyone can wear like a black turtleneck, but they're like, why she was so iconic was I think because she didn't care. She wasn't craving that
Attention.
Like, she didn't want the attention, so it almost made her cooler.
That's
Yeah.
also a bit of a pivot into.
And I think that was interesting.
Well, I think also what makes
It's
the 90s so
interesting.
iconic, and I think their relation so iconic, was that it was like a pre-cell phone, pre-social media era.
Yes.
Which changed the way people interacted with the world. Like,
Yeah, people met organically,
Yeah.
and it was like,
there was a meme I saw that I wrote down that was like, it's time to start meeting people analog again.
yeah,
And like the concept of like the 90s meet cute. And I work with people who like met their partners in the 90s, and I was talking with them
Yes.
about it, and they were like, it was so much better back then. Like literally one of my colleagues like met her now husband in a bar, and he like saw her across the room and was like, who is that? Like to his buddies, and was like, who is that? I want to meet her. And it was
like
like
Caroline
it took
and
a
JFK
week. It took like
at the
weeks to like
party.
get her number and then call her. And then
What do you
she
mean?
makes
It's
the
like you gotta,
call, and
like,
it was like
Make him work for it.
the men worked.
They had to work
I'm also
overtime.
gonna say that this day and age, I find there's like such a
Sorry,
strange.
that was
Sorry.
insane.
There's such a.
They worked.
They worked.
There's such a.
As they should.
It came from her chest.
I was gonna say though too, something that I've noticed in this day and age
Crazy.
is there's such a strange thing because you meet someone and you're like, okay, Like you could meet someone and be like, oh, they're so nice, blah, 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 blah. And then there's like people's like real life persona, and then there's their online persona. And most of the time it matches up, and then sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
But to be fair, I think a lot of online personas can be created because you can make money off of it.
For sure.
I feel like I know a lot of people where it's like they have an online persona, but they're doing it for the check, you know?
Oh,
And that's
actually,
fine.
sorry.
And that's fine
No,
too.
and
but
I'm not saying
I
that's
find-
something wrong. It's just an interesting thing these days where it's like sometimes things match up, sometimes they don't,
Yeah.
and it's all for different reasons and purposes.
I wanted to go back to
Everyone can do
the
what they want.
fashion though in the 90s, and I was joking. I was one of these people that was like, I'm gonna start dressing like Carolyn Bessette, if that's how you say her name.
You have a similar body type, so I feel like you could
I
pull off
also
the look.
I am someone who's always looked at 90s fashion. Like we grew up watching in high school. I watched Friends, and like everyone loves Rachel Green's style. And like my mom also, you know, in the 90s dressed like her. Like she was inspired by that. So like I've always had that kind of influence, and I've always loved like what they call like capsule wardrobes, or like, you know, things that are not necessarily unique, but just something that
minimalism.
Minimalism.
Yeah,
I've always loved
minimalist
that
style.
Yeah,
I've never been
very
someone that's
90s.
like, I'm not a very like I don't like to explore. I like to have my things, and it's like that is my system. Like I get
Things
the
that you
same
go
haircut.
back to.
I get the same haircut every time I go to the hairdresser. I'm like, I buy things that I can wear over and over again. That's just my thing.
Chronic outfit repeater.
Chronic outfit repeaters over here. So anyway, her style, I'm one of those people that was like, oh my God, I'm going to start dressing like her.
Oh my god.
But then I realized I was like, it does fit into like what I like, which is like the minimalist aesthetic.
Yeah.
But then it is interesting what people were saying. Where
Honestly-
it was like what made her specifically so iconic though is her attitude towards everything.
It's not
Yeah.
just
Which I
it's
thought
not
was
just
funny.
the clothes you wear; it's how you wear them.
Yeah, but I think it was both
100%.
because she wore them and she was confident. But she like even in the show, he was like, she knows herself.
I think it's
like,
also
she
that
does.
it's
She
also
does know
that
herself.
line that
Know
it's
herself.
like you wear the clothes don't wear you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
I was
that's
also
the
talking to my
essence of
friend though,
this
and we were
style.
saying like a lot of 90s style was timeless. Like you can wear that, you know, you could have worn that through any decade except maybe the 80s.
Well,
That's not true.
I
Any
could've.
decade going forward. I just feel like it's such timeless outfits, and like
Yeah.
I will literally look at like photos of my parents in the 90s and I'll be like, so where did the shirt
Well,
go?
we actually-
I'll
we've
be
had-
like,
we've
I
had-
threw that out years ago.
we
and I'm like,
have-
darn.
Pinterest boards of like for our show for our characters. We've always had Pinterest boards, and it's always been like
Always 90s.
Like I'm
Yeah.
very
It's
inspired
like
for-
magazine. It's like 90. I also
Also,
feel like,
yeah.
the reason I think we also love Love Story is just like a lot of it's around fashion, and we've always been very inspired by like 90s fashion.
Yeah.
And if you look, we can maybe put it in a clip in here, but our very first vision board for our TV show, like I think most of it was like 90s images. So like Kate Moss in the 90s. We had like photos
Mia
of her.
Jovovich.
Mila
Jovovich,
Jovovich, Dudes and Crow.
She might have been
Yeah.
80s Mia Jovovich, but like late.
She might have been
80s.
80s,
but
but
a lot
like-
of some of them were also like inspirations from nowadays, but a lot of it was like models from the 90s. We just were like
Yeah.
they just look. We just loved how like natural everyone looked, and
We
how,
loved like I think like it was like something that was really special about the 90s was, and I've seen this on social even before Love Story, was just how different everyone looked.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone had
Everyone's
a
face
uniqueness.
was distinct and unique.
And I
we
think we've
that's really
also like
beautiful.
even like those photos of Kate Moss that there's like specific ones that like were really big inspirations for my character Colin that we were writing, and it's always like she looks like she's wearing like no makeup. And I think that's always what we really
love
like
that
is,
vibe,
we love that when we watch television when it's like you feel like you can see their skin almost.
yeah,
Like it's like
Yeah.
you feel
it's
like
a person.
they look like a person. You
Yeah.
feel like you're like face to face with a person almost, rather than like
Perceptual realism.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
We won't go down that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
we watch all sorts of
Sorry,
things. on
that's
this stuff. But
cinematic nerd stuff.
That's another but that's another thing is that the 90s fashion was just so iconic.
And Elle was
and that
literally
time of
texting-
supermodels was like
Elle's been texting like group chat, like on our, we have like a group chat of like anytime
have-
we see something in, well, we have many, but
Yeah, I
like
was
one of
gonna
them,
say, we have, like,
one of them
We have
is
an
like,
endless
that's where
group
we'll
chat.
text like inspiration we have for our show. And like, I was watching one that relates to the 90s of like the charms of an imperfect face. And I think the 90s was just so good. Like even Carolyn Bessette, like she didn't have a quote unquote perfect face, but she was like beautiful and stunning, and she didn't need to be. Anyway, that's a whole other rant. But that's what we love about.
Yeah, but I
and
think,
Elle
sorry, I was gonna last thing
Yeah.
just to add to that is that I just also love that people are talking a lot about like her style, she was beautiful, but a lot of people were saying that it was like from within in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like she had like an energy about her, and it was like beauty from within. She was like confident and talented, and worked hard at, I don't know, her job. Again, do I know her personally? No, but these are just the things that I'm hearing.
It's not just what she looked like, it was the vibe.
And it's nice that like those are things that you can like feel through a picture or like feel through her fashion. Is like who she was as a person.
And Elle's been texting us like inspiration, like I think we should dress this character this way, and I like the backwards cap.
JFK Jr.
Okay, we can apply that to this character. It's giving us ideas.
Style inspo for.
Well, we have a character in the show that actually like came recently, like in our recent draft, because there was a character that we were like gonna add to like another season, but we ended up adding him to the first one. We bumped him up. We were like,
got promoted.
It's your time. He got promoted. Sometimes it's funny we like kill off characters, or we just like get rid of them completely.
Another one was lost because of this one coming in.
Another one died.
Okay,
but this one is worth it, and this one has a bit of like comes from a wealthy family vibe, and so we were like, oh, I think we can pull a lot of his style from, because there's another character that's a bit more like 90s grunge, where it's like
and another
baggy
is like
jeans kind of thing.
Another one is like Jude Law 90s as well, so
like
more like
glasses.
academia, So it's been nice because it's actually helping us differentiate our characters and thinking about their style.
I mean, like,
the fashion, and I've heard like other people talk about it, and everyone says that they think it's really good. I think like the
fashion,
the fashion in that show. Cool. I think it's accurate because the thing is, I wasn't alive in the 90s.
I was born in '99, so I was born in like 2002. Aware at that time of the fashion.
You claim to be aware in.
I was a conscious baby. But I wasn't looking at fashion. I'll tell you that much.
But, no, I was gonna say too that oh no, it left me. It's something about our show in the 90s and
something that might spark is like something that's been a trend since Heated Rivalry was like casting quote unquote unknown, non-famous faces, and I think that's something they got right with this show. And that is actually something, again, not to like toot our own horn, but that's something that we've always talked about with our show is casting people who look like people, first of all.
Well, I think for us, we've always wanted, even that like our vision board, I should put it up, but like we've always wanted people who look really unique.
Yeah.
Like we had like a couple of examples are like, we had like a vision board of this guy who had like super red hair and like red freckles, and we're like, that's so interesting and unique. We just always interested in someone that looks very like,
and not to be trendy, but it was like it wasn't from a place of trend, it was from a place of like, which again blends into the 90s. Like when you look at magazine covers from the 90s, they all have, in my opinion, very unique faces, and they weren't perfect.
Unique features,
and everyone just embraced.
There was a girl in the 90s that I saw in that video that you said had like a gap in her teeth, and that was like her thing.
Yes, we love
and it made her look
those
like
unique features that just make people.
I also
feel,
think
that's when you walk out in the world. That's
what real life is like.
See. So, and we were joking like we don't want anyone who looks like AI generated. Like nowadays, there's all those like AI generated images, and those people look drop dead gorgeous and perfect, but. We're like, we like a little bit of
personality,
personality and character, because that is what it is after all. But anyway, 90s are back, and we were on that train
a long time ago.
So let's get everyone else on the train.
Yeah. I also think, talking about like 90s meet cutes and stuff, I keep seeing all these memes. Like one of them was like, stills from the show, and it was like, bring real love back. No, not a cell phone in sight, by the way. Yeah. Which I just love that. I think I honestly think it's been so oversaturated, like with online dating and people meeting online. I think people are starting to pivot into that trend, and I think this show has really pushed that desire over the edge.
Well, and I think the horror stories of our generation is probably also what's going to bring it back as well.
I'm still trying to remember what I was going to say, because it felt like it was like important.
Did you feel like it was important?
Yeah. It was something to do with the show.
While you're thinking, do you want me to sing Spice Up Your Life?
If you really want. Oh, I keep forgetting I have mascara on, and then I go to rub my eye. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all, Queen.
Yeah, I think...
Sorry, continue.
Well, just like what I was going to say is like when people ask us about, what kind of show we're making, it's closer to that feeling of the 90s.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I see something written here that I think is interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
She's got a little laptop here with notes. And she said, what people forget is that the reason that era feels so cinematic is because it existed before everything became content. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it?
Sure.
I think, I'm going to tell you what I think. As someone who works in content, all you're thinking about is hooking, getting their attention fast. How can we hold their attention? how can we get them to do this thing? How can we get them to look at this for longer than X amount of time? And it's very like, it's very almost like, it's kind of almost insane to a degree. Like you're kind of just like it's like so it's like almost like overwhelming. Like sometimes I'll see like we call it like their hooks, obviously. So like I'll see hooks on my For You page and I know what they're doing because I work in content. So like I know what their strategies are.
But it can get exhausting.
It could get exhausting. Like some people,
so true.
I've become very used to like the influencer one where it's like they'll just like start with like a unique sentence that like relates to them. Like it'll be like,
this is how I changed my life
my
in a
boyfriend
week.
and I, you know, decided to blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, oh, okay, that's like another version of a hook. But there's those other ones that are like really in your face. And I get a bit like, oh, it's like, okay, like, I'll watch it. Fine. You know?
I don't like the fear-based ones.
No, those ones are criminal.
I get, as someone that like, you know, gets anxious fast. I get like,
what did you say to me the other day? Ava goes,
no, I don't like fear-based marketing.
She's triggered by hooks.
Ava goes, I read this post that said if you spend too much time on your phone, then you're not actually developing deep memories.
I don't think that's right.
And I was like, I think they're just trying to scare you. It could be right, but I think they're just trying to scare you.
I think it's important to remember that online, like, just about everything is marketing. Well, and so they're like people are trying to scare you into buying something or looking at something or clicking a link. Like,
no, this is what I was gonna say is that we're you know, we've heard all these rumors that people are trying to bring kind of that energy into television. When I think that television should feel like you're entering this different world and this different universe. And it's like you get to escape your own life for 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. Yeah. And I think that like if someone, and this is just my opinion, but I don't think it should be like trying to like hook them in or yada yada. It's like just let them escape into this different world for X amount of time. I think that's the beauty of television and why television has been like it's existed for how many years and I'm talking about movies too. Movies
but
television,
I think
and then content. I feel like it's here and people are kind of sick of it already.
Well, people also reference the 90s and early 2000s as an iconic time, not just for fashion, but also for movies and TV.
Yeah.
The way movies were made, the way it was filmed was really
2000s
different.
rom-coms are like a classic example. Like everyone's like, why do we have to feel like there's a lot of, you know, movies and shows out there right now that, you know, are super well done and great, but they're often quite like scary or like very
or like unnerving.
And it's like, yes, okay, it provokes that emotion. Thank you. But like as someone who grew up in the 2000s, it's like, you know, like I miss those 2000s. Where's the glitter in this part? We watched 13 Going on 30 on the plane back from Australia.
Cute.
I was in tears at the end.
Because
tears.
I just feel like it still had such like it still made me like feel something, even though it's like a chick flick, but it was like so well done, and it made us very happy. It made us very and like listen, even like the show that we're writing, I don't know if it's necessarily gonna. I remember what I was gonna say, but I don't know if it provokes emotion.
Happy,
that doesn't
sad.
Make you feel
It'll be
sick.
happy, sad. No, yeah, exactly. And I think sorry, go ahead, Ava.
These days you watch stuff and you're like, I just feel sick.
Yeah, you're like, that stresses me out.
Yeah, I remembered something though. Is just that we have this theory. This is all talking from like we just discuss this stuff all the time just because we're interested in it.
Yeah,
and like we talk about theories and stuff, you know, because we want our show to be great. Like we want it. You know, people.
But we're
like,
also just making what we want to see. I think that's the biggest thing. Is it's like we're not trying to like, you know, appease the best, like or copy whatever. It's like we have wanted to
make what we want to make.
We have wanted to see this show since we were kids, and we're like, we want to make it.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen it yet,
and I don't see anyone making it. So I'm like, let's make it. And something I've also noticed that I think Love Story, along with a couple other movies and shows that have come out, has kind of made people realize and me realize is I just feel like casting for chemistry over looks is really important.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
And even like, you know, we're saying like cast people that are unknown actors, but it's like you can also cast people who are known actors as long as they have chemistry with their counterpart.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's about putting like big names next to each other or no names next to each other. Like I don't think it's like a perfect formula. It's really about like putting two people in a room and like, do they evoke like an emotion? Do they seem like real people together? Like
not just like, oh, let's like try to reverse engineer this from a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
Let's actually go with like what has the best
because
chemistry.
I'm gonna say this, and it sounds artsy, but it's true. The whole point of shows, movies, everything is they want you to feel something while you're watching it. So why are we looking at everything so analytically and you know, like, oh, this actor produced this amount of revenue, when really it's like put two people in a room and do they like spark an emotion? Like, do
That's
you
the
feel
only reason someone's
entertained
gonna watch
watching
it.
them? Like,
Yeah, is
like
if you're
even-
entertained.
I
Yeah.
watch Love Story and I'm like, is the plot like crazy? Is there crazy mystery or anything crazy happening? No. But every time I watch it, I'm just intrigued. I'm
We were
entertained.
saying-
Like the people on screen have like an energy about them.
Yeah.
And you
That's
know, like,
interesting
and
to
like
watch.
even
Yeah.
like the setting, everything has like a lot of like energy. Like her working in fashion, like I feel like they did a good job like
Yeah.
making those rooms feel really alive.
Intriguing.
Yes.
And like
yeah.
every time like
Yeah.
the scene comes on, I'm like, did anything crazy happen in that scene? No, but I was riveted.
Interested. Yeah.
And that's something
and
that-
we've
sorry, go ahead.
we were talking about this, like The Queen's Gambit was a show we watched a couple years ago. And if I read that log line,
Oh yeah.
I probably wouldn't have seen it, but Maddie watched it and she was like, the show's really good.
Well,
And I was
because
like,
you have to explain it's about a chess
it's about
player.
chess. It's about a chess player. And like that just like sounds like, you know,
You're not
I don't wanna
interested
say
in
it sounds
chess.
boring, but I'm not interested in chess, so I don't like, that doesn't sound like something I'd watch because I don't even know how to play chess. Anyway, the show was so good, so interesting, so well done because it provokes emotion.
Yeah.
And it was such an emotional story, and it was like, it was not only about her playing chess, it was about her childhood and her relationship with her mom, I think, if I remember
I
correctly.
think so. Yeah.
There was like a lot of layers to
Layers.
it. Anyway, super well executed and such a well done show.
And I just think
And I was like, it was entertaining. It was
it's not just what
and
the
it's
idea
not
is.
and it's also like
yeah.
it's not like that sounds like the most marketable idea, but it was so well done, and it was like just, it was entertaining, it provoked emotion, and to me that's just like what
and
makes
another thing I'm going to
good
say
show.
is I feel like the difference between those shows is that I just feel like they're thoughtfully done. Like the people making it are putting thought and energy into
Yeah.
how it's being produced and how it's going to be received, like how it looks, how it feels, what the people
Yeah.
are wearing, like all of those
Yeah.
things. Like at the end of the day, you're trying to like recreate a version of real life and you want it to feel
Yeah, and I think they wanted to recreate that feeling of like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
so
90s
you
they
gotta
were this
put
iconic.
thought. It's not gonna just like it's almost like making a 2D image. Like it's not like you have to like bring it to
Bring
life
life.
a little bit.
That's
you know?
something we talk about a lot with making our show, because it's not just like what you're making, it's how you're making it.
Yeah.
It's a huge component of it. And for us, like, it's really important to, you know, tell a story cinematically that moves people and is different. And
Yeah.
nowadays, you know, there is a certain look to a lot of things that isn't as compelling as it could be. And we, you know, I'm speaking cryptically here because there's only like, you'd have to get into a whole other episode to really like
Yeah, and I also
break it
think,
all
like,
down. But it's just
This
like,
is just our opinion too. Like
this
at
is
the
our
end of the
taste.
day-
This is our preference. For
These
for
are just
stuff
conversations we have all the time, and
Yeah.
just
yeah, like more
Woo.
things like perceptual realism, where you bring people into the world of your story. The characters, when they're being filmed, are not separate from the setting. You see them in that world. You fill that world to make it reflect what we see in real life. And it's not about something being realistic. It's just about realism, which is different.
making it feel real.
yeah.
yeah, realism.
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
it's
because
like
we've
you're-
been reading all sorts of things
So
about
that's
Yeah.
a whole other layer as well. But yeah, I
all
think
that to say the 90s are back.
all that to say, the 90s are back and are inspiring us, you know,
Yeah,
more
Love
than
Story
ever.
has really
Yeah.
inspired us.
Well, I
and-
think for me, like, we've always loved the 90s and like the 90s vibes, but specifically like the characters' fashion in this has been like, to me,
Oh,
I'm
oh
like,
my
top
goodness.
tier.
I-
The
I
fashion,
cannot-
like, yeah, the fashion in this show, and like I feel like they did a really good job of capturing that era.
exactly.
It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I that's what I really and I
Exactly.
think that was their intention with this.
We're
show.
taking
Yeah.
notes.
And I think
let's
that's
just
what
say.
they're
Oh,
doing. Yeah.
one more thing I was gonna say is just that another thing we love about like making TV and movies and that kind of thing is, you know, we are writing our show and we're doing as much as we can to make it what we want it to be. But at the end of the day, it's like a team that's gonna come together
Yeah.
that's really gonna bring it to life. And
Yeah.
we're like so excited to like find that team. Because there's people who are professional cinematographers or you
Yeah.
know, people that
Yeah.
you have to find that share your vision, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like such a team effort to make it feel like such like a living thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. Like I love watching the behind
Everything
the
has
scenes
to
of-
go. Yeah, behind
Yeah,
the scenes
stuff.
documentary things are always like our
We
favorite.
love it.
things
Well, because like
ever.
there's someone like
There's
we-
those Bridgerton ones which were so good.
well,
Those
even
were
like
fun.
they come
Those
up
are
with
fun.
wardrobe.
So it'll be like day in the life of of like, you know, the wardrobe. I can't remember the name. It was like the, you know, the person
head of wardrobe. I don't know the
and
name.
it was like I had the best time watching. I think they're like 10 minutes or 20
well,
minutes.
because you can
Yeah.
write
So
it, and
fun.
then you know someone from wardrobe has an idea, or someone from you know
elevates it.
Yeah,
even
like
further,
everyone just kind of
yeah.
elevates it and adds like little bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
That's
that
the
make
part
it
that like
even better.
is like exciting and also anxiety provoking for me is like you have to find the right people.
Yeah,
And but once you do,
like anything.
yeah, like once you do, it's great. But you got to find the right collaborators. But once it happens, like you're not, you know, you don't make
just
a
a
movie
big-
in a silo.
it takes a village.
It does take a village.
Yeah, like anything. Like
Yeah.
even like we all work for companies right now, and it's like it takes
Yeah,
a
no,
village
that's
to
true.
keep everything
to
running.
keep
everything running. It makes me think like I'm like every time I see something or like a commercial or a post, I'm like
I'm
there
like,
is a village
there's a
behind
village
everything.
behind it.
Yeah.
Behind a single post on
Behind a
Instagram.
single
No,
post
seriously,
behind the strawberries you buy at the grocery store.
Yeah. Wow.
Like there's a village behind everything.
yeah.
Period.
Anyway,
That got
Build
a
your
little
village.
we could get on.
build
go
your
on.
village
Build
today.
your village.
Anyway, we had the best time in Australia. We won't get into that now. Maybe we'll
Well,
talk about that next week.
We can maybe
We can
talk about it next week. But
we feel like our sparkle's back.
the sparkle's back, and there's something about Australia that did remind me of the '90s in the sense that like the culture there was like just no one cared, and it was like it felt like that
really
like
it was laid back.
pre-social media era where it's like no one was trying. No
And
one
I
was
do think it was
performing,
just the
you know?
location we went
I think
to.
it was
Yeah.
where we went, but it was like nice. It was refreshing because it's like a lot of times when you go to a beach and people are in their bikinis and swimsuits. Sometimes there's a vibe of like performativeness to
Nothing
it.
worse than being in a bikini.
And you know, there's sometimes that vibe there, but like where we went, it was like everyone was there to just like have a good time. No one, you know, it was just a nice change in energy.
Everyone was vibing.
Yeah, it was.
We were
Where we
vibing.
were.
We were
let's just
vibing.
say.
Yeah, for sure. It
As
was- it was
whenever
nice.
people
Guys,
ask
I'm
me
on the
about
brink
it,
of a cough attack. Let's
All
wrap
right,
it
we'll
up.
wrap it up.
but every time I oh, it's starting.
Yeah.
Every time someone asks me about the trip, I say best time ever.
I'd go back. Like,
So
immediately.
next episode, hopefully Ava won't be having a cough attack.
I'm so sorry.
We will be talking about our best time ever.
Australia.
It was amazing. Thanks for watching. I'm really fighting a cough right now.
Catch me in a Carolyn Bassett outfit next week. But I have to also give her vibes, apparently.
Yeah.
But then I also saw in that post, they were like, just be yourself, you know? Like,
Thanks,
she
guys.
was just being herself.
We'll tell you if Elle figures it out.
Like, if I figure out my new image. Just kidding. I'm just joking. Ava's dying. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye. Sorry, I was like, guys, shut up. I'm dying.
Girl.
I don't want, like,
I'm leaving that in.